Aloha, my name is Carl. I attend Makala Elementary School, and today I'm here with Representative Todd. Representative Todd, what is your responsibility as a vice chair?
I think there's a lot of day-to-day business that needs to get done. A lot of it's just organizing things and trying to make sure that all the testimony that we receive is organized properly so that everyone has a chance to have their voice heard. So just kind of helping facilitate our day-to-day meetings with the chair and making sure that he's well prepared and organized too.
What are your plans for this upcoming session?
I think very, very fortunately, last session, a lot of stuff for my community, we were able to actually get accomplished. So this time around, we're back on the Big Island. We're mostly focused on the lava recovery in Puna. So even though that's not my district, it's probably the most important thing that I can do is help facilitate that because we have hundreds of families that are now without a home and all of the ripple effect that that's had on our local economy and everything like that. So I'm hoping that we can maybe take some sort of bold action that helps make them whole again.
What did you do last session and improved?
I think there was a lot of stuff that had been around the legislature for a really long time. Stuff that my dad worked on, back when I was 10 years old, right? That a lot of people in Hilo had been trying to advocate for, mostly for these leases back on the Big Island and for these small businesses, and we're able to find a solution for them. And I think when you have the legislature where there's 51 of us in the House, 25 in the Senate, a lot of it comes down to just being able to work together and being friendly. Because if you're one of 51 and you're gonna not be friendly and not be cooperative, then they don't need you, right? So just trying to go about your business and being helpful and being productive that way. I think that's been pretty successful so far. So hopefully we can just keep that going.
What can you do in your district and your community to help it stand out?
I think for us back in Hilo, we're mostly looking for maybe better job opportunities. Hilo's a really special place, but we don't get the same kind of tourism numbers that other places get, and a lot of our good-paying jobs are really dependent on the government. So maybe there's an opportunity there to build the university up in Hilo and the community college so we can continue to grow around them.
Do you enjoy being a representative?
Yeah. So what I always tell people is that, I think my job is probably the best. It's great. Now, unfortunately, if you're going to be in government, if you're going to be a legislator, that also means you have to be a politician. And that part is awful. So you get kind of the best of both worlds to, have this great job where you meet all sorts of interesting people and you're never bored. You're constantly learning new things and you have the real opportunity to help people. But to keep your job, you got to go door to door, knocking on people's houses and wave at strangers on the side of the road. And that's kind of weird.
Is there anything else you would like to say?
I think, Hawaii is obviously a very special place, and sometimes we get caught up in all the things that are going wrong here, and we kind of lose track of that. So I'm hoping that, over the next few years, we can take some real steps forward to kind of change some of that, and I think the first thing is we need to really do something so that people can afford to live here. Almost all my friends moved away, and I think that's a trend that's continuing. So until we take a real step in the right direction, I think we're going to continue to have that problem. So hopefully we can take a real step forward that way.
Hey, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
This is Carl, and you're watching Youth Capital Commentary.
Aloha, my name is Evie. I am 11 years old. I attend Aliumanu Elementary School. I am here with Representative San Buenaventura. I have a few questions for you. My first question is, what are your plans for the upcoming session?
I represent the district of Puna, which was overcome by the lava crisis back in May through August 2018. So my first priority would be to rebuild the infrastructure and to help those who are recovering from lava. Of course, my overall responsibility, my priority would be to ease homelessness in the entire state because I am House Chair of Homelessness. They sort of dovetail because there were 800 homes that were destroyed, and Puna became increase the number of houseless and homelessness people on the island of Hawaii and in the state of Hawaii. So by helping them recover and get homes, I am also helping the rest of the state with their homelessness problem. It is a huge problem, and we've been able to get some progress in it, but we hope to do better this coming session.
What is your role as a majority whip?
As a majority whip, like the title, I whip, but the reality is it's a more friendly whip. We talk to the freshmen, we talk to the members, and we see where they stand on various major issues and where they will vote if certain things come, and what it will take to get them to agree, or what their positions and concerns are regarding certain bills.
Is there like anything to improve this community?
There is a lot that we can do to improve the community. First off, we should live aloha. And one way to do that is when you see people on the street, basically they are people. And yes, we need to walk around them once in a while. But a lot of them have problems and were like you when they were younger, before they were on the streets. And we have to realize that they were people like us at one time. And so something along their lives had caused them to be on the streets. And we have to realize that we are very lucky and very fortunate that those instances that caused them to be on the streets did not befall on us. And we should sympathize.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. You take care. Thank you very much, and
Is there-
thank you for doing this.
Is there anything you want to say?
No, we're going to have some trying times in 2019, and we request that everyone be patient. And we live in the aloha state, and we should all live in aloha. And yes, we will disagree, but there are ways that we can disagree without being disagreeable. Thank you.
Aloha, my name is Kalia Moana Lapera. I attend Waianae High School as a freshman. I'm at the state capitol, and today I'm here with Representative Tarnas. So, Representative, what are your goals for this upcoming session?
I'm an environmental planner by profession, and so what I'm really focusing on is what do we need to do to protect our environment, our watersheds, our coral reefs. We've got so many issues like rapid ohia death and koki frogs and little fire ants, these invasive species that are causing such trouble here. We really need to take better care. And our coral reefs have some real big issues. So I think that we have to take some initiative. Sea level is rising, the water is warming. In 2015, we lost 50% of our coral reefs in West Hawaii. And so we need to do everything we can to reduce the stress on the coral reefs so that they can come back once the water cools off. So that's a big part of my work. I've certainly been working on economic development that is sustainable, that actually is appropriate for the islands. And then there's a whole lot of other issues like affordable housing and health care that I certainly will be working on as well. But my specialty is really in environment and renewable energy.
So can you tell me more how you're going to help the ocean marine life and other invasive species to be eliminated in the process?
So one of the most important things is to try to prevent contamination of our nearshore marine environment. So converting away from cesspools so that we don't have those contaminants going into the ocean. That's a really big, important thing. Another thing is that there's these fish that eat the algae, and we call them herbivores. And we really need to protect them because when the corals bleach, algae starts growing around them, and we need the fish to clear the algae away. So I'll be working on establishing marine protected areas, working with the fishermen to figure out where we should establish these protected areas and how do we protect the uhu, the parrotfish, that are the fish that eat the algae. So those are some of the areas that I'll be working on.
So I know that's going to take some money there. How are you going to support it economically?
Well, actually, some of the work that we're doing out there doesn't necessarily have to cost a lot of money. And I think it actually will help us support an economy based on fishing. Because if you establish marine protected areas, then the fish can actually replenish the stock so that you can catch the fish outside the protected area. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a net cost. It can be actually a net benefit. And so that's where I'm looking at it, because when I was in the legislature 20 years ago, I helped to establish a whole system of marine protected areas on the West Hawaii coast of Hawaii Island. And it supports a major fishery because we have those protected areas, because the fish can grow up in the protected areas and they can catch them outside the protected areas. And that's a multi-million-dollar fishery there. So I know that we can actually make it work, but we have to work with the fishermen to make sure that they are supportive of it, because they're the ones that really are most affected by it.
Yeah, and I know that you represent the Big Island. So how is it different from Oahu and Big Island?
Well, Oahu has a lot more people and a lot less land. Hawaii Island, we've got maybe 10% of the population, but 60% of the landmass. And we've got some amazing coral reefs that really have not been as negatively affected as some of the coral reefs here. And that's just because we don't have as many people. But that's changing. Population is growing. And so my goal is really to help educate the other representatives and senators about the importance of marine life, the value of protecting marine life, and the value of protecting our watersheds, because if you protect the watersheds, you reduce the sediment that runs into the water. And that's really important. So not everyone has spent time working on environmental planning, so that's my job, is to help educate my colleagues here at the House and in the Senate so that they know the value of protecting the environment.
Mahalo for your time, Representative. And you're watching Youth Capital Commentary.
Hi, my name is Ken. I'm 9 years old. I am in 4th grade, and I go to August Aarons Elementary School. I am here with Senator Ruderman. How are you today?
Good, thank you. Thanks for being here.
What are your goals for this year?
This year, I have an unusual goal in my district, which is Puna District on the Big Island. We went through a big crisis with a lava flow last year that destroyed a large chunk of our community. So one of my biggest goals will be to try to get some relief, a couple of bills and some money that the county needs to repair and kind of get back to normal in our community. So it's sort of an emergency disaster relief package. I'm also going to be working on a $15 an hour minimum wage and cannabis legalization.
How will you accomplish it?
Well, I hope to generate support for these efforts. In terms of lava relief, there's a fair amount of sympathy for any district that goes through a disaster, and right now there's a fair amount of sympathy for my district, so I hope that we'll be able to get the money we need. And for the other issues, it's a matter of getting the advocates, which is people in the community that care about these issues, to contact the various legislators to express support so that they'll hear and pass these bills.
Why did you want to become a senator?
I wanted to become a senator because I'm very concerned about our environment. And I was sort of an environmental activist before, just trying to do what good I could as a citizen, writing letters and going to events and stuff. I thought perhaps if I got elected, I would be able to have a stronger voice and have more an effect in trying to protect our environment.
Hi, my name is Jemiah Wiggins, and I'm from Radford High School in the 11th grade. And I am here with one of the senators. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I'm just going to ask you a few questions. And my first will be, how are you benefiting your district?
Well, what we're doing in our community this year is trying to lower the cost of education. So we're looking at lowering the cost of tuition to our University of Hawaii and our institutions of higher education by waiving application fees and by lowering the cost of textbooks and maybe lowering the cost of tuition.
Okay. So how is this going to affect schools?
Well, this will allow students that come from economically challenged backgrounds and families that really have a hard time making ends meet. Those will allow those students to be able to pursue college, and we really want to encourage that. We want students to graduate from high school. We want them to either go into our vocational or our trades to our community colleges, and eventually get them to our four-year universities. We want everyone to aspire to higher education.
Oh, sorry. Okay. And my last question will be, how do you think that this will change in the future?
Well, there's no question that higher education is the great equalizer in our society, and here at the legislature, we aspire to provide the highest quality education for all of Hawaii's keiki, and making those opportunities available for everyone. So we know that higher education leads to a strong and healthy economy.
Okay, thank you for talking with us today.
You're
My
welcome.
name is Jemiah Wiggins, and thank you for watching the Youth Capital Commentary.
Aloha.
Hello, my name is Jasmine Ricketts, and I'm 6 years old, and I attend Red Hill Elementary School. Today I'm here with Rhett. What have you done in the past?
Well, in the past, I've actually, in the distant past, I used to be a smoker, so I know that smoking's really not a good thing. But I stopped a long time ago. But I want other people to stop.
Is there anything else you want to say?
Well, I just want to say you're doing a great job, and I'm really glad you came today. Thanks for your questions.
Thank you for your time. And again, my name is Jasmine Ricketts, and I'm 6 years old, and I attend Red Hill Elementary School. You're watching Youth Capital Commentary.
Aloha, my name is Carl. I attend Maka'apu Elementary School, and today I'm here with Representative Nakashima. Representative Nakashima, what were your previous accomplishments as a representative?
As a representative, I had served on the Labor Committee as the chair of the Labor Committee. And there I created a number of advisory boards in the Department of Labor, which allowed us to provide resources to high schools in the areas of agriculture, STEM technology, and healthcare. And in that way, we were able to provide resources and enrichment activities for high school students interested in those programs. So, for example, in agriculture, we put a lot of money into the Future Farmer of America program. And through the FFA, when we started, I think there were 8 chapters left in the state, and now we're up into, I think, about 21 chapters throughout the state. So in that way, we provided more resources into the agriculture field, and we keep talking about being self-sustaining and being able to grow our own food, but we weren't making any new farmers. And so I think that was kind of one of the significant things we were able to do while I was here in the legislature.
What are your plans for this upcoming session?
This coming session, there are a number of issues that we dealt with last year. We looked at homelessness and affordable housing, and we looked at pesticides, among other things that we took care of last year. This year, the concern for me has always been one of the cost of living in Hawaii. It costs so much for people to live here in Hawaii, and one of the things that result from that high cost of living is this push to raise the minimum wage and $17, $20. What I would like to see is us adopt new policy which kind of put a pressure on the cost of living. So instead of raising how much money people made, we try and put some controls on what costs so much here in Hawaii. And one of the biggest things there is housing. And in order to try and contain the cost of housing, one of the things I think we need to do is look at more imaginative tax policy as a way to prevent people from just speculating, using land as a commodity. Everybody buys and sells land like it's something valuable to be had, as opposed to something you got to live on. And so if we can change our policies so that it becomes more of a affordable housing issue, affordable land issue, as opposed to just somebody else making more and more money, we'd be much better off as a society here in Hawaii.
Can you explain how important of a job it is as a representative?
I think one of the most important things that we do here is represent the people of our districts, we bring together 51 people from all across the state, from very different backgrounds, from very different communities, and we all get together and we all have to agree on things here. And so, it ensures that, no one idea is going to get to the end. It's going to be a collaboration of all of these people working together, and out of that collaboration, we hope that we get the best idea that goes forward to represent the people of Hawaii.
Thank you for your time.
All right.
Aloha, my name is Evie. I am 11 years old. I attend Aliumano Elementary School. I am 11 years old. I am here with Representative Onishi. What did you accomplish last session?
Well, one of our biggest accomplishments was to be able to get rid of the debt on the convention center. And what it does is it allows for more transparency on how the convention center operates and what is the actual cost for the convention center.
Is there anything you want to improve this session?
Well, one of the big issues in Hawaii, and I'm chair for tourism, so one of the biggest issues is the impact of tourism in our local communities. So that's a discussion that we're going to begin, and hopefully we'll be able to come up with some solutions and ideas on how to address that.
Do you think your plans or ideas will work?
Well, we're very hopeful. We need to do something about it, and so we're very hopeful that we can engage the community and all the stakeholders to address those problems.
Do you want to say anything?
Well, what I want to do is I want to thank you guys for always coming out, and this program I think is a great program, and you did an excellent job, Evie.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
This is Evie, and you're watching Youth Capital Commentary.